this video, we will learn about containers, images, Docker files, and after that, we will do a small demo in which we will learn about basic Docker commands and we will see how can we make our own custom images and push it to Docker. So let's get started. So you might have listened that there are two types of applications: containerized applications and non-containerized applications. Containerized applications are the applications which are run with the help of containers, um, which the applications which are run after converting them in a container. So what is a container? You can imagine container. Um, you can imagine container as a collection of all packages and dependencies needed for the whole process to be run on your host operating system. In this image also you can see that there is a container which have all the configurations, operating system and application libraries. So we have all things, all the material which we need to run a process. We have all the things to run a single process inside a container. So this is a container. So now a question you might be having that why do we need containerized applications? What is wrong with the application what is wrong with the applications which are not containerized? So for that to understand we can take an example. You can imagine that you need to run an application which need so first imagine you have a laptop, you have your host operating system. Let's imagine it is Windows. So how this all your system works, how your system works is that you have your host operating system, you have your hardware at the bottom. On top of that, you have your host operating system. On top of that, you have all the applications. So, host operating system controls all the hardware resources like storage, RAM, CPU. So, host operating system controls all the resources, all the hardware resources to run application on top of itself. Understood? So we need to run an application which needs Linux operating system to run, but we have Windows as our host operating system. So how do we do that? So we can do this easily with the help of containers. But before containers, we use a concept of virtual machines to do these to do this task. So what are virtual machines? Obviously, these are this is a very popular question. So what is the virtual machine? So you can imagine virtual machine as a computer running on top of your computer. A computer which have its own operating system, which have its own resources, all own hardware resources running on top of your computer. Now how is this possible that a whole computer is running on top of your computer? You can run a separate another computer with any other operating system. Like you can run a computer on top of your computer which have Linux operating system, but your host operating system is Windows. How is this possible? That's why it is called virtual machine. It is not a real computer. It is a virtual imaginary computer. So you have your hardware resources. On top of that, we have our host operating system. On top of that, we need to use hypervisor. This is a layer, a software program which helps us to create these virtual machines. So this hypervisor, and on top of that, we run our virtual machines. So you can imagine that we have virtual machine with a guest operating system. You can see in this image we have guest operating system on our virtual machine. So you can imagine that host operating system are is Windows. But we need to run an application which needs Linux. So how do we use it? We use hypervisor to make a virtual machine which run a guest operating system which is Linux, and on top of that we can run that application. So our job is done. We can run an application which need different operating system than our host operating system with the help of virtual machines without using a container. So all is good. But this method is not recommended. Why? Why? So what is the problem in this way? So when application is running on virtual machines, it first interacts with the virtual machine itself, then the hypervisor, and after that it interacts with CPU to run, obviously. So this makes the whole process very slow because it is not directly interacting, because application is not interacting with CPU directly. They are very there are many layers between it. So this makes the whole process very slow. So here containers come into the picture. So containers do not require a guest operating system like we we have an application, the same application, but it is containerized. It needs Linux operating system to run, but but this application is now converted into a container. So now to run it on our system with Windows as host operating system, we don't need a guest operating system. So why is that? Actually, all applications within a container is running in a user space, which is a separate space in your host OS, which runs all the processes run by the user. So this allows applications to interact with CPU directly without passing through guest operating system, um, and hypervisor, etc. As a result, containers offer better performance than virtual machines. Also, containers creates a wrapper around applications that can all access the same hardware resources, which makes them isolate to other containerized applications, which makes them easy to migrate in different environment. So all dependencies are there in the operating system. In sorry, sorry. So all dependencies are there in the container. So it is easy to migrate it. It is easy to isolate with other processes. So there are many benefits to a containerized application. So now, now we will see different stages to a container. So for making container, there's three stages. First, we need to make a Docker file. Then we have to make a Docker image with the help of Docker file. and then we make our container with the help of our image. So what is all this Docker file and image? So we will read this first. The Docker file is a source code of the image. Once the Docker file is created, you build it to create the image of the container. The image is just the compiled version of the source code, which is the Docker file. Once you have the image of the container, you should redistribute it using the registry. So what is all this? So you can learn, you can imagine this as, you can imagine Docker file as all the source code. You want to run an application in a container, you first make a Docker file with all the source code, all the source code, and we make image. What is image? It is a compiled version. It is a compiled version of your Docker file. So everything is ready in the image. So we just have to run it to make a container. So you can imagine this as a bulb. Like Docker file is like a sheet on which we have written all the plan that how to make a bulb. Docker file is that. And by seeing that, someone makes a bulb, and that bulb is the image. But that bulb is not on, it is switched off. But when we switched on the bulb, that is our container. So we can understand this by this analogy. So now, now how do we make these containers on our system? For this we have many container runtime, but most used and most preferred one is Docker itself. For Docker, we have an image repository also called Docker Hub. From here we can find images made by others and also share our images which are made by them, made by us. So which we will see shortly. So let's start with some commands. So I open my PowerShell. So first we will write Docker. If you see all this after writing Docker, that means you have installed Docker on your system successfully. So congratulations for that. So we will make our first container now. For that we need to download an image from Docker Hub. We can do that by Docker pull nginx. Docker pull nginx. This is a command to, so it is being downloaded. So Docker pull nginx is a command to get your image from Docker Hub. So now nginx, so an image with the name nginx have been downloaded on my system. Now I can make my container which have nginx. So container run minus d speed d. So this is a basic command for making a container. So what is all this? For making a container, we first write docker, then we write container run to create a container, docker container run. Then we write minus d, which is meant detach. Uh, we'll talk about this later. And minus p means port. So here we have two values. The first 8080 value is the port on which we can find this container running on our local system, and the port 80 is the port on which it is exposed in our Docker daemon. That dash name is used to give our container a name, and in the last we will write the name of the image from which we want to run our container. So docker container ls. So this is this command is used to list all the containers which are running on our system right now. Docker container ls. So we get a container id. We can see images in nginx. We can see it is about 1 minute ago. We can see ports 8080. Name is Nikhil and nginx. So 8080 is a port on which it is exposed on our local system, so we can see it running there. Right, lowest 8080. So it is running. So good. We made our first container. So what do we do now? So now we will make our own custom image, I guess. So I'm in my folder, Dockerfile sample 2. This is my folder on which I have a Docker file. So what is Dockerfile? We discussed it. So Dockerfile have all the source code which is needed to create an image. So there are many variables in a Docker file. It have its own format to make it. So here we have from, var dir and copy. So what is from? From is used to import. It is like a command in programming, like import. So from nginx latest, what it does it do is that it imports all the source code which is there in nginx docker file. So if we make a docker file with for only from nginx latest, it will work same as a docker file which is made for nginx latest. So but we have added something in it. We have changed this directory, and we have copied an HTML file in that directory. And what does it do? HTML file, what does this HTML file do? Just have a title which have your second Docker file worked, you just successfully ran a container. So it have a content in HTML file. We want we will make an image with the help of this Docker file. So I have to first enter in that folder. So we can see we have this Docker file here. So you can see we have a Docker file. We have our index HTML file here. So how do we build an image from a Docker file? So for this we have a simple command called docker build dot. We don't need to specify the name of the Docker file. We have our Docker file named Docker file, then we don't need to specify the name. If we have any other name than the Docker file, then we have to specify. So dot is used to refer that we have this Docker file in this present uh, directory. So this will make our Docker file. It is not working. Is that? Yeah, it is working. What is the issue here? I will try again. So you can, so by digest help you can see what different things we can use here. So we have made it has worked. So what is this command? Docker build. So before, so previously I told you that we need docker build dot to build a Docker file. So but I have added something here. I have I have written minus t Nikhil Sharma V dash n nginx. So what is this? Minus t refer to a tag. Tag is given to all images. So when we when we want to search an image, we have two specifications. We have a name and we have a tag with it. So we have to specify the tag also, but it is not compulsory. But I have specifically, there is a reason why I have given this tag to it. So now what I will do, I will push this image to my Docker Hub. So for that, I need to tag it like this. I have dash t Nikhil Sharma V slash n engine x. So Nikhil Sharma V is my username on Docker Hub, on my Docker Hub account, and n engine x will be the name of that image. So now I will list all the images. Docker image ls. I have many images, you can see. So this is the image. Tag is latest. So now I will push it. It is pushing. It will take some time. So it is done. So now what I will do, I will go to my Docker hub.com. I can see this image now. Nikhil Sharma V and an Nginx. So I successfully pushed my own image, and anybody can access it because it is public. So I can also access it. So I can do like we did, like we pulled the Nginx image previously. Now we will pull our own image from Docker Hub. Sorry. So now we have this image. Now we'll make a container of this image. Docker container run, tell the port to it 892 anything 80. We'll give it a name again and Nginx, and the image is this. So our container is created. Now I will show you something. So we have given this a port of 8906 to access it from our local host. Local host 8906. So So here you can see that it is not the same Nginx image. Why is that? Because we added an HTML to it. So that is why we can see this a change. So our lecture is over here. We learned about containers, images, Docker files, and we also learned about basic Docker commands. We saw how can we make our own custom images and push it to Docker Hub. So that's it for today. Keep learning.